Lamina papyraceae. Lamina papyraceae is a thin layer of ethmoid bone that comprises the medial orbital wall. The thin layer of ethmoidal bone that comprises the medial orbital wall. This is a thin layer of ethmoidal bone that comprises the medial orbital wall. It is best evaluated in the coronal and axial planes. When dehiscent from prior injury, the bony margin of the laminae papyraceae is displaced into the ethmoid sinus. I repeat, when dehiscent from prior injury, the bony margin of the laminae papyraceae is displaced medially into the ethmoid sinus along with the intraorbital fat and occasionally portions of the medial rectus muscle. This is a small segment of the medial rectus muscle prolapsing inwards into the ethmoid sinus. Deviation into the ethmoid sinus places the laminae papyraceae and orbital structures at risk for intraoperative penetration, as the laminae papyraceae can be mistaken for an ethmoid sinus septation during ethmoidectomy. Here we see the prolapsing of the orbital fat as well as the medial rectus into the ethmoid. The laminae papyraceae may also be at risk for injury even when intact during unguenectomy in the setting of an underpneumatized or atelectatic maxillary sinus. This is an underpneumatized maxillary sinus with lateral deviation and apposition of the unguenate process with the medial orbital wall. Here is the lateral deviation and apposition of the unguenate process with the medial orbital wall. Excessive or aggressive manipulation of the unguenate may result in disruption of the medial orbital wall. Here is the underpneumatized maxillary sinus and the laminae papyraceae lateral deviation in contact with the laminae. The unguenate laterally deviated and in contact with the laminae. Manipulation or resection of Haller cell may also cause inadvertent disruption of the laminae due to its location along the orbital wall. Although not specifically evaluated on preoperative CT examination, manipulation of basal lamina of the middle turbinate, which represents the demarcation of the anterior and posterior ethmoid air cells, may also cause inadvertent breach of the lamina. The most worrisome complication of orbital violation is an intraorbital hematoma. Hematomas cause increased intraorbital pressure and may result in temporary or permanent visual loss depending on the size of the hematoma and the rate of expansion. When substantial injury has resulted, immediate ophthalmological intervention may be necessary. Direct injury to intraorbital structure, particularly the medial rectus muscle, is less common but disastrous due to its irreparability. Rectus muscle injuries range from intramuscular hematomas with focal muscle enlargement to complete transection, which is fortunately rare. In addition, penetration of the laminae papyraceae establishes a direct communication between the orbit and potentially infected sinus, and this may lead to development of orbital emphysema and cellulitis. Here we have an overall overview of the laminae papyraceae and its injury.